Hello, and welcome back to the Bar Gym Reviews. Today, we're going to be looking at another home gym setup. This time, I know I'm team basement. We also got team garage. We got team spare room. But what about a bedroom? So today, we're going to be looking at Ruben from Toronto, Ontario. We're going to be looking at his bedroom gym setup. Okay. Now, full transparency here. As Bar Gym Reviews, I would love to see some of your guys' home gyms. And Ruben has done us the task of sending us one that is here to inspire others that are on a budget, right? So we all started somewhere, right? We all started in a bedroom, a basement, somewhere with some old rusty piece, old rusty weights. And Ruben here has a phenomenal setup for under $2,000 that gets everything that you really need to get done. And honestly, there's some bonus perks there. So I've kind of watched the video, I've skimmed the video. So I want to get more of an honest reaction as Ruben goes through his gym. So we're going to watch his video and follow along. And then let's see if we can spot out any kind of equipment that we really like, things that we can maybe critique, and honestly, I just want to see your guys' setup. So again, if you're interested in setting in your home gym setup and being featured on the channel, please fill out that Google form. I'll have it in the description below. And again, create a short video, make it unlisted to YouTube. It's really not that difficult. And then again, there's a possibility you could be featured on the channel. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at Ruben's setup.
All right, so this is gonna be a quick review of my bedroom gym. This is gonna be probably the least glamorous gym that you're gonna see on this channel, but I think it's gonna be useful for people who don't have a garage, don't have a basement, but maybe they need a gym. They can't go to the gym, so they need their own setup. So I'm gonna start from where it all started. I first bought this bar that came with some vinyl weights. It was a 100-pound setup. That was on Amazon years and years ago when I weighed like 105 pounds. Then
All right, so real quick, I'm just gonna stop you there, Ruben. So Ruben, yeah, we all started somewhere, man. We all started somewhere. For me, I was in, you know, I trained as a high school athlete, and then later on, I kind of went to a commercial setup. But we've all been there. We've all been in our buddy's basement, our buddy's garage, right? We got to get the cheapest weight, anything that works, right? So those standard barbells, they're not cool, right? They're not as sexy as an Olympic barbell. I'm going to tell you right now, they do the job. It is weight, right? Weight is weight at the end of the day. So, hey, man, be proud of where you started, and absolutely, it's gonna work, right? Just as long as you have those lovely standard collars, right? So we'll go ahead and continue with
from
Ruben here.
these, which is obviously a standard size barbell, I moved on to this other one that was a little more sturdy. It's like 300-pound capacity. And then when I outgrew this one, I moved on to this one, which I bought this one on Facebook Marketplace with about 300 pounds of weight. This was my first bar that is 2-inch hole. And then
So Ruben, great Facebook Marketplace find. Again, Facebook Marketplace is an absolute gold mine, especially depending on your area. But if you're near a bigger city, it seems like there's a huge variety of gym equipment. So I'm over here in like Northwest Ohio, so the Toledo area isn't bad. It does help having No Way Jose in the area because he's always got some crazy gym equipment out there when he resells his. But realistically, if you're near a bigger city, right? Or this sounds crazy, but maybe you're on a trip near a bigger city and you got a truck or a trailer or something, there could be some things that are worth getting out there. But there's always great deals, right? So a barbell and weights for 300 bucks is absolutely priceless if it's something that you can use for years and years and years to come. So it sounds like we started at a place with 300-pound capacity barbell after our standard barbell, and then now we needed to upgrade, and we found that. So Facebook Marketplace, when it comes to barbell steel plates, especially power racks that are well built, this is something that can last a literal lifetime. So if you find somebody that started a gym and maybe they upgraded, or maybe they're just not into it, or they're selling somebody else's stuff. This is a great opportunity to maybe buy some home gym equipment at a reduced price. So let's see what other gems Ruben's got here.
And if we come down here, I have some weights, standard weights from when I had the smaller barbells. And then I have these dumbbell handles, which I can go safely up to 50 pounds on them. If you want to go above that, you're going to have to use this plate, and it's just uncomfortable because this digs into your leg, right? But this was about $25, which is a great deal if you're somebody like me that doesn't use dumbbells a lot. So I only use them for side raises and small movements like that. And then besides this, I have some micro plates from Bells of Steel, which I highly recommend. Then some clips, and then this pad. And then we will move on to the main setup, right? So this is
All right, before we get into the main setup, yeah, dumbbells. Dumbbells can be done a million different ways. Now, I don't love the lock spin where it digs in, but Ruben makes a good point here. Like, use it for the pulling movements, use it for your biceps, use it for your triceps. Use it for those other movements like shoulder, lateral raises. So you can get a lot done. And he said $25 for those spin lock um, dumbbells handles. So that's cheap. That's a crazy cheap, right? And I'm not sure if it's 25 for a set or 25 each, but even if it's 25 each, we're talking $50, right? So again, great budget options. Okay, you can do plenty of your pressing with the barbells, and then if you want to do more rows and you want to do more, the unilateral work with one arm, you could do that, and then you could still get your lateral raises. You could still get, there's rear delt exercises done. So great job. Now let's see what the power rack setup looks like, because I'm getting a visual here, and it looks a little bit complicated. So hopefully Ruben explains enough for us, but let's go ahead and see what he's got going on in this
the
power.
fitness reality rack. This is one of those things that, as far as rack goes, I've used obviously expensive ones at the gym. And to me, for a home gym setup, this is you could buy better, of course, but you're not gonna get any more quality to your workouts if you use something more expensive. So this entire gym was $1,500 around that. And I've seen videos of guys that spend have that budget and spend about $1,000 on the rack. And personally, I don't get it. So for me, if you're
So Ruben, you don't have to get it first of all, but yeah, I'm guilty of this too. $1,500 in his entire setup. So I'd have to just quick memory cost me a little bit around $3,000 when I bought my Rogue RM6. So twice the price that he's spent on his power rack here. Now his cage here, obviously it's pretty bare bones, but again, it does the job. It's got safeties in there. It's got the safety spotters, right? It provides safety. It provides a place to put, your barbell for your J cups. And it looks, if you have a box design in general, it's going to be somewhat stable. Now, if you're not loading it down with weights, which it doesn't look like Ruben is, but if you're not weighing yourself down with weights, that could be something where you might want to look into drilling into the flooring. But realistically, a lot of times that is a little bit overkill. So let's see. I'm really interested to see how he does this cable.
planning, if you're thinking of buying something like this, you can't go wrong with this setup. What you should actually not chip out on is on the bench, because as you can see, this is a foldable bench. It's great when you don't have space like I do, but this is not heavy enough. So you want something that's heavy duty. And this is something that people warn about, and they're 100% right, because this was $150, right? New. But you can actually get a heavy duty bench that's around the same price if you buy it used. So for me, I don't plan on replacing it just because it can actually fold. But if I could do it again, I would definitely buy a more expensive one. And
So, Ruben, again, I'll agree with you here. I don't think I've ever seen a foldable bench like that gets that compact. I do think it's great for the space that you have, but also nowadays, we have a lot of adjustable benches, that can incline, decline even, but usually just that incline into flat, and they stand up. So as long as you have some real estate next to a wall, I feel like this is something that Again, you could probably find, especially secondary market, around that $150 mark. Now, realistically, if you want something new, we're probably closer to like, the 350, maybe $400 mark. But again, if you're doing this, maybe not on a budget, but on limited space, again, remember a lot of these benches, um, you know, do stand up. So look for a bench that stands up. Look for a bench that has different angles and that is adjustable, and you can get a lot done with a bench like that. So let's go ahead and see
Then I
this.
want to show you this, which is a Smith machine attachment that I bought on eBay. This was about $220 Canadian. It's not great. I would not recommend it. It's a fifth of the price of the BTS, but it's also a fifth of the quality. So on this one, I can do calf raises, I can do bend over rows, and I can do incline barbell press. I can do them somewhat comfortably enough to push myself, but it's not amazing. So if I could do it again, maybe I would not buy it. And then I have, as you can see, this little do-it-yourself cable setup that you can buy on Amazon. This is, for me, it's less than $100 combined when you buy the two pulley setups. But there is nothing that I can't do on this thing there is nothing that I can't do here from a regular cable machine. So if you don't have the space,
So real quick, Ruben, first of all, when it comes to the eBay purchase of the Smith machine, you're kind of ahead of the times, right? Um, Everybody wants a Smith machine now, right? Now, for me, you know, a Smith machine, yes, could make a very smooth linear path. That might be better for people that are maybe limited on lifting or don't have the stabilization muscles, that aren't used to lifting heavy or aren't experienced lifters in general, I should say. Um, I think it's a cool novelty, and I agree with you. It's probably something that I wouldn't spend the money on. Even with my crazy rack setup back here, there's plenty of options I could probably add on, like the VTS system, and I would love to do that just to maybe mimic some machine work because I know they got single handle stuff. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Smith machines, I just feel like I can get a lot done with just my barbell weights, dumbbells, and cable work. So again, I would say probably not the best purchase. And like you said, you spent a fifth of the price, and you got about a fifth of maybe the smoothness with it. So that's something you got to think about when you're buying something like that. And honestly, Ruben, I don't blame you. It's trendy, but also if it's something for you and your training at home, if you're like, yeah, I don't need a Smith machine, then don't make that kind of purchase, right? So Ruben, pretty cool. And then the cable system. Uh, you got a crazy cable system going on. Drops in the middle. Looks like we got some sort of tile there to help you with make a soft landing, I suppose. And I'm interested to see how much this costs.
like I do, if you are really limited, it's more than worth it. The price to quality, it doesn't get any better than this. I'll try to attach some videos where I'm doing lat pull downs and cable rows, so you can see that I can actually load these things pretty heavily. And then here, there's some more of those weights that I talked about. And then because that other barbell, I have it set up with the Smith machine hooks, I had to buy another barbell. And this is the Bells of Steel Naked Barbell. And that's another thing that in the past I would have told you, like, oh, save yourself the money. If you can get like $100 barbell, it'll do the job. And it does. But the quality, you do feel it. Absolutely, you do feel it. This is going to be much better. It's going to feel much better on your hands. And it did that immediately, like especially in squats, because the quality of the knurling matters when the barbell is sitting on your back. And here I have some attachment.
All right, before we move on to the attachments, yeah. First of all, obviously, shout out Bells of Steel. Great products there. Please use the affiliate link. I'll have it below in the description. And yeah, Ruben's completely right here. If you're a person that's exclusively gone to like a commercial gym, especially a big box commercial gym, yeah, you do not know what you're missing. Barbells, knurling, totally different from some of these big companies like Bells of Steel, like Rep, like Texas Power Bars, like Rogue. The feeling of the barbell is that much better. And you can buy really cheap barbells on Amazon for $125, $150, or even some of them are even up to almost close to $200. But for like a a one-time investment that can last a lifetime, $300 or $350 or more, you can get a barbell that has true quality, that has great aggressive or semi-aggressive knurling that really sticks to your hands. And if you've exclusively, again, been in a commercial club, you haven't been exposed to it. I promise you haven't. I used to go to a commercial gym and the knurling was all right. And I remember the first time I deadlifted with my Rogue Ohio Power Bar, and I just remember how much grippier that barbell felt in my hands. And I felt like, I think I was like, went 40 pounds heavier on a deadlift just because of that grip. So again, invest in a great barbell. I know this is a quote unquote small, space saving and budget, but you cannot go wrong with a great barbell. Bells of Steel is doing great things over there, so the naked barbell over there is obviously going to get the job done.
Blocks. This area definitely I wanna. If I could, if there's something for me to do, is get some wall control and get this more neat, because this is. I admit that this is pretty much a mess. And then finally,
yes, wall control. Get something on the walls. Now, I'm not sure of your situation there, Ruben. I don't know if that's a renting situation, a buying situation, or whatever. So maybe don't drill in the walls, but yeah, get some sort of organization. It's a mess right now, but man, you can really declutter that space. Get some wall storage, get some sort of mass storage system, or honestly, just go to Home Depot, buy some like of the Husky brand shelving units. They're built like tanks for the most part, and you can put a lot of things on there. Okay, so maybe I'll throw that in the description as well. Just not an affiliate, just something that I've had around the house before. So again, get all of that stuff off the floor, get some storage. You'll thank me
this is
later.
the only machine that I have, the only actual machine that I have besides the barbell and the rack attachments. And this is a 3-in-1 machine, so you can do lying leg curls, sitting leg curls, and leg extensions. And this is a game changer. This was $550 shipped to my door. And one of the common complaints of home gymmers is that you can get a great upper body workout, but the lower body isn't great to train at home. But for me, once you have this machine, you can get enough volume on the squats, on things that are load your spine, and then you can do exercises that are at that volume, but at less of a recovery cost. And the quality of this, the sundial has to be full, because there are some that have limited ones. So if you're gonna buy a plate loaded one, I recommend the sundial has to be full so you can put it back like that, right? And then if you put a band, the resistance starts here. So you get almost as good as a range of motion as you get on a cable stack. It's not gonna be 100%, but it's 80% quality of the set for like 25%, 20% of the cost, definitely. There's another thing that I forgot to talk about.
All right, real quick. Yeah, so that's a pretty crazy looking machine. Bang for your buck. If you're gonna buy machines, definitely make sure that you get your money's worth. And if it does two or more things and it does them well, it can be a really great investment. I will also agree. So I have a Titan Fitness leg extension leg curl machine. It is plate loaded. I think it's version 2. I do have to do a little bit of a MacGyvering around with that. But it can work, right? Definitely use resistant bands. Resistance bands are pretty cheap. And if you can tie it down to something or attach it to a wall, attach it to your rack, attach it to something that's anchored down, you can get a really nice resistance curve that pretty closely can mimic, a selectorized cable machine. It's not 100% there. It's probably about 80% of that, which can get a lot of things done. And realistically, that's something that a lot of home gym owners are missing out on, is that lower body training. You cannot skip leg day. So make sure that you are doing
And
that.
it definitely warrants some discussion, which is mats, right? People in the home gym community say, buy the Horstel mats, yada yada. I did not go that way. I bought the cheap ones because this is a fraction of the cost. I didn't listen to their advice, but now listen to me. This is great. As you can see, I cut them because I live in a 3rd floor apartment and the vibration can't go through to my downstairs neighbor because it's not nice, right? So this is why I have it that way. So it absorbs the shock. But it doesn't work for squats. It doesn't work for anything really. Like everybody says, and everybody says it for a reason. It's not stable. So if you're thinking of buying this type of mats, just don't. You can do something like this, but the floor, even though, well, the floor was messed up from prior, but there's something else. Just don't try to put weights on the floor or anything like that. Maybe you can put something on the bench, but don't waste your time with the foam mats. They do not work.
So foam mats, yeah, I 100% agree. If they're shifting, they're moving, it's kind of dangerous, right? Especially if we're going to do heavy squats. If they're slipping and sliding around, it's not going to be ideal for any kind of lift where, especially if you go heavy, right? Now, I will say here at the Bar Gym Reviews, we are big horse stall mat fans, and I totally understand where you don't want that smell somewhere that you sleep, and I would agree. Now, what I would suggest, if it's something that you're thinking about in the future, it does absorb a lot of energy. I have concrete floors down here at the Bar Gym Reviews, and I've dropped literal like 450 pounds on the ground from my shoulders, or at least when I'm squatting for depth. I've failed on a squat before and I've bailed, and there's no damage done. So there's plenty of shock absorption. Now, with the smell, I will suggest, and I know you're up in Ontario, so I wouldn't do this in the winter. But if it becomes summertime, or you got a few good days where there's a lot of sunlight out, you can off gas those. So I've seen people do it online. I've done it myself, where you leave them in the sun and they will off gas, right? So all of the chemicals that are used in the factory and everything, they start to dispel, and it seems like they dispel a lot when it comes to being exposed to sunlight. So I would do that. I'm not sure on a timeline. I think when I did it, the original time, I think I had them off gassing for about a week. It might have been 5 days, but closer to a week. And when I brought it down to the basement, yeah, there was a little bit of a smell still. But I think if you do a combination of that, do some simple green spray or something that's got a little bit of a stronger smell that'll kind of cover that up, you might be able to off gas that pretty quickly. So just my suggestion. You could also just cut the horse stall mats to size and fit them just under the rack, or move them where you might just like deadlift and squat, because they really do stick to a floor pretty well. So just an idea for you, Ruben, and anybody else that's kind of limited on space and off gassing as well. So let's get a total
So
here
this is
from Ruben.
basically it as far as the bedroom slash home gym goes. Like I said, it's nothing to aspire to, but if you're somebody that rents a bedroom, or maybe you don't have the time to travel to and from the gym, this is definitely going to get you out of trouble. And as far as results go, I would put the quality of work that I can do here against the quality of work that you can do at any gym. I think it would be amazing if Jeff Nippert, for example, could do an experiment where he has one subject trained in his amazing new gym, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars, and have another subject training a setup like this, which is $1,500. And I would like to see the difference in results, because my guess would be if they're both training hard, the results should be about the same.
All right, so Ruben, first of all, I really appreciate the video, and I agree with you. So again, this is something that goes back to sports. It goes back to just competition and everything. There was plenty of people that are in the gym that are just there to be at the gym and say, "Hey, I went to the gym today, right? And I worked out." And you want to feel better about yourself, and you should. But if you're truly coming down to it, and you use expensive equipment versus cheap equipment, it's gonna be the hard work that gets you there. It's gonna get you there faster if you work harder, right? At the end of the day, that's what it is. So make sure you have your goals. What are your goals? Are your goals strength? Is it hypertrophy? Is it conditioning? Is it weight loss? Okay, so find those goals, and like Ruben has proven here, he has a gym of around $1,600, and with $1,600, he's got a lot done, and that's 16 Canadian, but what, maybe still under $1,800 to $1,900 US. So a lot can be done with a power rack, a barbell, and some plates. And Ruben's done a great job. He's also added accessories. He's added even a Smith machine attachment and a leg developer. Looks like the leg developer was probably the most expensive thing, but again, for Ruben, and I would agree with him here, it's an underutilized or underdeveloped part of a home gym is the lower body. Because most people are just like, well, all I can do is squats, right? No, you can do squats, you can do RDLs, right? But also, if you have leg extension, leg curls, you can do more isolation movements that can really take your legs to the next level. So, again, Ruben, I really, really appreciate the video. And if you here watching at home, if you would like to submit your home gym, it doesn't matter, basement, it doesn't matter if it's in your garage, doesn't mean if it's in a barn, and in this case, it's in a bedroom. You can work out anywhere, right? And you can find a space that you can make a home gym. So, shout out to Ruben. I appreciate you and your submission. Again, I'll have more. I'll have hopefully more gym submissions in the description. Fill out the Google form. Take a quick video. You don't have to commentate like Ruben did, but I appreciate that, Ruben. And I'll walk through that gym, with you and give it a review, right? So overall, I do want to say, budget, space, you knocked it out of the park on this one. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I didn't do this with Home Gym Harry, but I want to kind of just do this as an ongoing thing. But I want to give it a rating. So when I consider the space, the equipment, and honestly just the ingenuity of everything that you're doing, so we're going to do it on a 10-point scale. And I want to be pretty strict with this. So, I think per dollar is the best way to maybe do this. For $1,600, we got a power rack, we got multiple barbells, we have plenty of weight. I will say I think we're lacking in the flooring, but I understand why. And we have a lower body machine. So if you put that all the way, again, quick formulation in the head, I'm totally doing plenty of math here. I would give it out of 10 like a 6.85. Okay. Now, that means there's room to grow, Ruben, but I would say some things that you need to touch on: add storage, figure out some sort of flooring, even if it's rolled flooring. Maybe you can find something second market. But again, storage, flooring. But man, the cable setup is awesome. The power rack is awesome. And weight is weight at the end of the day. And you got that nice Bells of Steel link in the description for the affiliate barbell, and you can get a lot of things done. So if you like what we're doing here at the Bar Gym Reviews and you want to be featured on the Bar Gym Reviews, fill out the form, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.